And what she's saying is characteristic of this acceptance of other people's religions. That what?
That no one cares about.
That no one cares. No one cares, and specifically, no one cares what?
What people believe.
They don't care what you believe in. What do they care about?
What they believe in.
What does it say? Read the words in order in which they're printed.
Just so they believe.
Where that middle part there, she skipped over.
Or pretend.
Or pretend to believe. What does it mean to pretend to believe?
That you really don't believe.
True.
Or you just go along.
True. So what are some examples of this kind of a thing, where you just pretend like we believe? Yeah.
Technology.
Explain. By the way, I say this knowing full well that many of you already do this. We do this outside of the theistic belief. What are we doing here today? Why did we show up today?
To
Tolerate me? To practice your patience by tolerating scandal? Perhaps? But why did you show up today?
Because we have to.
You have to. You don't have to do anything except for stay blank and die. All I gotta do is stay white and die. Fill in the blank for yourself. You don't have to do any of it. Yeah.
Because other people believe that in education that if you don't have one, you won't make it qualified.
Okay. So if we're talking about, so we're here to because we believe that some people believe that you have to have an education. So I still ask that question. Did you show up to get educated?
I show to do a lot of things.
Amen. As long as you pretend that you've shown up for education, good enough. We do this all the time. People, if I ask that question, like I just had this conversation with a class yesterday. I asked, why is it, what is it, for you guys here, why is it that students come to school? Laws. Yeah. What are you hoping to get out of it?
Why not a degree? A diploma.
We're gonna get a career. Anybody sitting here going like, this is career preparation. I'm getting ready for a career. I'm here because I want a career.
No, but you need a diploma to get further.
Yeah, not really, depending on what you want to do.
True.
Ironically, the lower your ambitions, the less that you need this high school diploma.
The school teaches you to be open to new ideas.
Yeah, but does it? It teaches. Do we really teach you to be open to more ideas?
And to like,
You guys have a lot of teachers who are opening you up to lots of ideas and they're very accepting of your ideas.
On the contrary.
Yeah. So maybe we'll put that on hold. What is it okay, fine. What is it that your teachers want? For you. Not just to be in school, but what do you want?
Graduate.
Do we want you to succeed? Succeed? And what does that mean?
to, you know, not be like bad.
Not be bad. Once you succeed, just not be bad.
To be doing like fun, you know?
Okay.
That you're not like doing bad things.
Do you have a lot of teachers who follow up with you? A lot of 6th grade teachers who follow up with you, make sure you're successful?
Yes.
You do? Really? Your 6th grade teachers follow up?
I mean, you could
It
do
might
bad.
be. How about your junior high school teachers, they show up? 9th grade teachers, they show up just to check on you? Alright, so maybe these aren't working out, fine. How about the administration? What do you suppose they want for you?
Money.
What do you suppose your...
What?
Your what? What do you suppose your parents want for you? What do you suppose your counselors want for you? The point is that you have all of these different groups, they're all pulling in different directions. They want you to be A through G eligible. Why? Because that's their job. What is it that your parents want? Your parents really want you to be educated, or they just want you to get a piece of paper at the end, which suggests that maybe you can go off and get a job that will pay you just a little bit of cheese. And you can scroll around your whole life scrounging for cheese because you got a piece of paper that essentially, by the way, keep in mind, has been dropped from you needed 44 credits to graduate. This is a real high school diploma. That now, this year, last year, the year before, you only need 26 credits to graduate.
Damn, for real?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I told you this.
Wait, so
I thought that's why you guys were performing so shitty. No, come on. You know, you guys have known me almost the whole year. You know what I'm saying when I say this. Yeah, am I wrong?
No.
You know, for those of you who are like, I don't need this class to graduate, I don't need that class to graduate, you need 40% fewer classes to graduate now. That's not a real high school diploma. By the way, anyone says it's a diploma, no, people who are out there who are doing hiring, everyone knows what this is right now. By the way, this won't get you into college. This will just get you a piece of paper that will say, you breathed in a classroom in National City for 3 years. Oh, sorry, 2.5 years. Congratulations. Well, 2 years and 3/4, sorry, to be precise. That's a math, well, that's math, but you don't need that last math class anymore anyway, so what does it matter? Does anybody think that this really right here is reflective of us caring about your education or about your success in life? We don't give we don't even give a quarter of a shit what happens to you in your life. I'm talking about as a school. What we care about is our graduation rate staying higher? Now, forget A through G's because that doesn't make you A through G eligible. This doesn't qualify you for college. If this is your goal, then you're not going to, universities won't accept it. But with this, are parents happy with it? Does it get you a diploma? Does it get you that piece of cheese? I suppose so. Then, administration happy with it? Keeps graduation rates up. You know, teachers happy with it? Of course not. Why do teachers teach the subjects that we teach? Because we think that they matter in some way. And then you're hired because and you're hired in the auspices of the school district saying, what you're teaching does matter. That subject, of course, matters. Now, you understand we're in a really difficult quandary because if we had to do this in 2020 because of by the way, they did this in the 4th quarter of 2020. So, I mean, if you were already down, the idea was, well, because, you know, the pandemic, students, you know, that it's difficult for students to get to recover credits if they're missing credits at the last minute. Was anybody going to recover that many credits in 1 quarter? As well as the credits that they were working on? Of course not. They didn't care about that. It was something else going on there. And then because they did it in 2020, then of course you have to do it in 2021 now because those juniors were also affected by it. And then they're doing it again this year because y'all were sophomores when it happened. And then so now you're affected by it. Do you suppose you're going to do this next year? Because there are freshmen who are coming up? Probably. Oh. And I suppose that this is probably just going to be what the graduation requirements become.
For like forever?
Probably.
Going to go back up?
Wouldn't surprise me if we kept it down like this. Because now it becomes this issue of, wait a second, last year they only had to do this, why do we have to do this? That's not equity. We use this made-up word equity, just that kind of, if you want to win an argument, all you got to do is just say, oh, it's an equity issue. And we all nod our heads. None of us really knows what we're talking about. So then if that's the case, we have to beg this question. So are we really conceding then that 40% of this whole school experience is trash? Because if we're down 40% of our credits, that means that we're telling you, you don't need 40%. It's just a waste. I don't know, man, maybe your uncle was right when he said, high school is bullshit. I didn't get anything out of it. Yeah, maybe he was a prophet. Maybe he was right. 40% of it was trash. But then, again, that kind of begs the question, so does that mean that we're not preparing you 40%? In other words, are we acknowledging that it's trash? Or are we acknowledging that we're sending you out into the world 40% less prepared?
But like you can still graduate with like 44 credits.
Yeah, if you have 44 credits, you'll still graduate. And if you wanted to go straight to a university, then yeah, you would need those 44 credits because universities didn't change that stuff.
Yeah.
Although universities are getting rid of the SATs, the PSATs. And they're taking your GPA less into account. So then, of course, it begs this question: and what are they using to distinguish students between students? You know, it kind of makes me wonder, why is it that we?
It would become corrupt or what?
What's that?
It would become corrupt.
How do you?
White kids would go there or what?
I missed the last part. What?
Like people who are not knowing how to go there.
Oh, I think
they didn't have an education.
I think it's probably 100% the opposite. And we're trying to prop up people who don't have educations to make them feel better about themselves. I could lie to you. No, it's no different because you guys are so resilient. You guys have overcome so much. sitting in front of a computer screen for extra credit and logging in and then walking away from your screen and still getting a diploma. You guys are so resilient. I don't talk to you like that because I respect you more than that. Do any of us really believe that we've been resilient during that time? Do we think we've been made weaker because we've been made to accept this? And I worry about you guys. I do. I worry about you guys deeply. These are some of the things that keep me up at night. I sit there and go, my goodness, other places in the world did not do this. And it's different, man. I wasn't competing against people from all over the world when I was sitting in your chair. I mean, we were just starting to. But you guys are competing with these people at a deep level, all over the world. People who went to people who got their full credits, people who actually were forced to take things seriously, or forced to get out, one or the other. Everything is not okay. Things will not turn out to be just fine. All is not well. And yet we're saying, oh, you're resilient. If you were resilient, you wouldn't need this. We act like just showing up in the morning and breathing makes you strong. It doesn't. Being faced with challenges, having challenges in your life does not make you strong. Having challenges in your life makes you human. Overcoming challenges is what makes you strong. As Nietzsche said, what doesn't kill me makes me stronger. And you have that choice to be made stronger by things or to be left broken by things. And if you choose to be left broken by things, you now have a choice to accept that and wear it as a badge of honor. After all, it is 2022. We wear our weaknesses as badges of honor. Or you can cover up your head and just say, this isn't happening. This isn't happening. I could lie to you. I think you maybe have enough people in your life lying to you. I'm going to tell you the truth because, well, what good is a philosopher who doesn't offend people? The truth oftentimes will be offensive. And I hope you understand, I'm not trying to offend you. I'm trying to tell you what the truth is. The truth is not the thing that's going to make us happy. The truth is not the thing that's going to, that's going to give us a sense of service to others. But the truth is the very thing that will set you free. Because if it's a bet against our fictions and against reality, reality is always going to win. The question is whether or not we're going to be a casualty in that. When Goldman's saying it's a characteristic of theistic tolerance, you can replace theistic tolerance with almost anything. It's a characteristic of political ideology. It's a characteristic of morality. We don't really care what people believe. We just care that you do what you're told. As long as you pretend to believe, it's fine. Any of you guys still forced to go to church on Sundays and you really don't want to go? Just go. Pretend to believe. Your parents ever ask you about what your religious beliefs actually are? People ever ask you what your beliefs really are? Or do they say, come on, we're going to church. We're going to go do this thing. Anybody care if you really want to get a real education? Come on, it doesn't matter. Just go to school and act like you do. There's a problem there because it's not really about trying to convince anyone. It's about trying to get control over people, control over people's behavior. We don't care what you believe, as long as you act like you do, as long as you do what you're told. But there's a terrible consequence that we pay for that. It's a terrible price that we pay for that. First off, I imagine it'd be very difficult to get through a long life of just pretending this stuff and then hating yourself at the end of all of it because you were never really you. You never really expressed your beliefs. You never really left a mark on the world around you. You never fulfilled your archetype. You never did the thing that you were designed to do. Instead, you allowed yourself to be used as a tool, as a screwdriver to put in the screws of the dreams of other people. You were used as a hammer to nail down the nails to build up these structures that were the dreams of other people, not of ourselves, not our own. But again, you'll notice that we oftentimes just don't care what people believe. We just want them to act like they do. As long as you comply, as long as you do what you're told, fine. Believe what you want. But by the way, asterisk, don't express it out loud, because we might not like that either. Questions? comments, concerns, complaints, criticisms, critiques? Happy Tuesday.